moved to a new house and it had quite a big garden in it, and looking around the garden there were lots of different things that needed taking care of. So I was trying to work out how best to do that, and I came across the PROYAMA 5-in-1 tool because as you can see when we do a little tour of the garden in a minute, there's lots of different tasks needed handling, and I wanted to use just one thing to do that and not have to buy lots of different tools. Things I needed to take care of was edging the garden. As you can see as we walk around here, there is a lot of it, and really it was very untidy, and if I leave it for any length of time it just grows over and I lose the edge completely. So that was one of the first things that appealed to me about the PROYAMA, the fact that it had an edging tool with it. When you've got a garden, you need a tool every now and again, but you don't want to invest in one just for that purpose that you're going to use maybe once or twice a year. So another thing with the PROYAMA that I liked, I had a hedge trimmer tool. Sometimes I like to top off the edge of the bushes, and there's plenty of them as you go around the garden, and so I'm going to use that and we'll see how we get on with it. So around the back of my house I have these pavers as well, so I'm going to use the edging tool on those to stop the grass coming back, and also as we go around here where we have these little stones and the tree at the back, I'm going to use it there too. To get things set up, I'm going to use the hedge trimmer attachment and top off all of these old dying plants. As you can see, this garden kind of gets a bit out of control as the summer goes on, and I think the hedge trimmer tool would be great for just topping off the roses and the flowers in there, ready for next year. Things I want to use is the chainsaw attachment. As you can see, this tree has kind of gone crazy this year, and that was another thing with the PROYAMA, it has a chainsaw with it, so I'm going to use it on there. I have this willow tree over here that's going nuts, and the pear tree over there that is also needs trimming, and I'm hoping that the chainsaw is just going to be just the thing for that. Okay, so we all have a corner of the garden like this, just in the far corner that nobody sees, where you get all this brush and stuff growing and it needs cutting back every now and again. And so I'm going to be trying out the brush cutter on this area and see how that does. Okay, so this side of the garden we've got this great big bunch of old wood, and so I'm going to use the chainsaw tool to cut that up to enable us to put it in a fire pit and toast s'mores. So we'll see how that goes. So every year these branches just seem to grow and grow, so I'm going to use a combination, I think, of the hedge trimming attachment and the chainsaw to cut these back so we can walk under them again. My wife planted this area with grasses, and you can see it's got a bit overgrown now, and I think I'm going to use the brush cutter tool here and then the edging tool along these stones to keep that nice. Okay, so here I am in the greenhouse on a summer's evening, about to unbox the PROYAMA. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we've got the box open. The first thing you can see is it's really well packaged up and protected. And so let's dig in and see what we got here. So we got this that says Extreme Duty Garden Tools, so we'll take that out. Looks like one of the extension poles. This looks like another one. Get them out. And a third with an attachment that looks like maybe that's what you add the tools on with. Okay. So if we go further in, we have, okay, that's the chainsaw attachment. So we need some chainsaw oil for that. Blade holder, chainsaw blade, and a safety cover. Okay, so we've got quite a lot of different stuff in here. This looks like the handle. Pair of safety gloves. tools to set the equipment up. The kind of edger weed whacker attachment. A blade. An operator's manual. And a fairly heavy duty harness. Another blade. That's the kind of brush cutter. Here we've got the safety guard that goes around the bottom. Some extra cable for the weed whacker. And some protective headphones. Okay, so we still have more to go. Get into this one. Okay, I can see what this one is. Okay, so now this is part of the protective face shield that comes with this equipment. And there's the harness for your head. Keep it on there. And then in here we have the hedge trimmer tool. I think we're getting to the end now. We have a fuel container to allow you to mix the two-stroke. Here we have the engine attachment that I assume all the fittings go onto. And here we have the attachment that's going to allow us to put something like the brush cutter and the other blade that I got out earlier in place, obviously with the cover. Okay, so the next video is probably going to be me setting it up and doing some gardening on Thursday, edging the garden, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so we unboxed it the other night. Here we are in a really hot, smoky day in Washington, but it's gardening day, so we're going to get everything set up and use it. First thing we're going to do is put the fuel in. I looked at the manual, it takes 40 to 1 fuel, and I've had difficulty mixing that before myself, so I prefer using the pre-mix so I can make sure that it's right and the unit's going to run properly. So I'm going to fill it up now, and then I'll get back to you in a minute with the next part. Okay, safety first. So we got the head shield put together. You just clip this on the front and then attach the sides with these two screws, adjuster at the back. So I've got that ready, and next up I am going to be putting together the edging tool for the garden. So we will see you in a moment. All right. Okay, so next up we are going to put this tool on here, and so we unscrew this. Actually it's reverse threaded so it doesn't undo while you're using it. Put that fitting to one side and you simply screw this on. Now I had that just hand tight. Under this cover there is a hole that corresponds to a hole inside, and that allows you to lock it with the Allen wrench that's provided with the kit. So we've got that on, and the next step is we are going to put the safety guard on around that. So that will be our next video. Nearly ready to go. We've got the engine unit is fueled up and ready to go. The trimmer unit comes with a cover, which is well worth saving. Stops dust getting in there. It allows you to grease it and keep that on. And you just have to connect the top part to the bottom part. Pull out this safety clip Make sure that's engaged, which it is, and then tighten up this nut so that the unit doesn't move, and we're ready to go. I'm going to get my safety equipment on, get out in the garden, and we're going to do some edging in my lawn. Okay, so we're outside. We're going to start the machine now. You prime it under here. There's a little pump that fills the carburetor. Obviously we haven't started it before, and you then engage the choke and pull the starter and you're away. Okay, so I primed the carburetor, got the starter set up to start. We're ready to do some lawn edging. We'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I just took the PROYAMA out for a little test drive around the vegetable garden and edged that. I didn't put the handle on at that time because I like to see where my hand is going to sit on the engine part, and so you may want to just test that out before you set everything up. I'm 6'2" tall. If you're a different height than that, you'll probably be more comfortable having the handle set in slightly different place than I have. So I'm just attaching this now, and we're going to get some gardening done for real. So here we are, we're ready to go. We're going to start on this little strip over here, which you can see needs edging, and then we're going to go and edge around the trees that we have in the front. So let's get started. I really like the harness on this because, as I said, it's a substantial machine and it really takes the weight off you. So that's the first piece of edging done. I'm going to come back to you when I've mowed the lawn and you can see what a difference it makes. I can't get to the edges with my lawnmower, tips off the edge into the gutter, so this is perfect for handling those little hard to get places. As you can see by the state of me, it's 104 here today, so I was glad that the PROYAMA only took me 15 minutes to edge around maybe 400 yards of lawn, and it has a self-feeding tool so it doesn't break off. If it does, it's really simple. You just unclip this, pull this off, pull a piece of the twine through, and you're set. And I will give you some photographs and video when the garden's mowed, and then you can really see the effect of the edging. Cut. So I'd love to show you my garden on a beautiful sunny day, but this is 6 o'clock, the temperature's 103, and you may see just drifting across the lens ashes from the fire. I said I was going to share once I had mowed the lawn, and so it's now mowed, and you can see it's edged. And it worked great, as you can see, really nice clean edges. It was something I really struggled with previously, trying to get in place with other tools, but the PROYAMA did it in a short time, which was great given how hot it's been today. Used the shoulder harness, that really helped as well. It allowed me to kind of have more maneuverability about what I was doing. As I mentioned, I did round the trees too, so they were looking good. And so that is day one of using the PROYAMA. Okay, so I've just finished trimming the garden again, went even quicker this week. So now I'm going to move on and we're going to use the chainsaw for some branches on the trees. As you can see over here, I've fitted the extension and I'm going to show you how to fit the chainsaw. It doesn't come pre-fitted, it's all bagged up. First you have to take this shield off. You then place the chainsaw blade around this back wheel and around this part, ensuring that it's fixed using this silver kind of stud here. The other thing to note is you adjust it to fit with the screw just here, and so you need it loose to start with, but once you've got the blade on, you need to tighten that up to get the tension on the blade so it doesn't slip off. And so you gently put this on. You don't do this fully until you have got the tension on your blade. So we'll be back in a second and I'll show you how to tension the blade. Okay, so now we're tensioning the blade. So you use this screw and you just tighten it, and that pushes the blade out and adds tension to it. And so you can see now the blade is nice and tense. We've got the guard, so we will secure that properly with the tool that's provided. And then the last thing we need to do is add some bar and chain oil to the reservoir on here. You know, that's fairly straightforward. You just pour it in there and securely put that on. Okay, we'll be back in a minute and I'll show you how to attach the chainsaw to the rest of the PROYAMA. Okay, so we're going to attach the chainsaw attachment to the main part of the PROYAMA tool, and we do this sliding the end on, and there is a little hole on the inside, and you just tighten up that and then it is secured. Okay, so here we are out in the garden again. I'm going to tidy up this stump down here. It's making it difficult for me to mow the lawn. So let's give it a go. A pretty thick stump, and you can see that that made pretty easy work of that, so I'm pleased with that. There's another one over here that I'm going to try. This is a lot thinner. No problem. Okay, we'll be back in a minute and have a look at some smaller branches. Okay, so this annoying branch I always bang my head on when I'm mowing the lawn, so I'm going to take care of it. And this one too. Okay, no problem. Alright, let's go into my back garden where we've got some easier things to do. See you in a minute. Okay, so this tree here has gone crazy this summer. This springtime it was about as tall as me, so you can see how big it's got, and it's stopping the walkway through the garden and going onto the neighbour's fence. So I'm going to cut this back. Okay, let's see how the PROYAMA handles it. So I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but you can see it handles it pretty easily, and I think in about 5 minutes I'll have got this finished. So I'll come back and show you the finished product, so to speak. One of the cool things about the PROYAMA is the number of kind of extension poles they provide you with. It allows you to have tools that you use most often set up and ready to go. So I'm finished with the chainsaw now. The garden trimmer is over there. ready to go, and I'm putting the hedge trimmer attachment on another of the poles that they provide with it. So that means in the morning I'm ready to go. I don't have to take one of the other poles apart. It's just convenient and quick and easy to use. So my next video is going to be trimming a little bit of hedge in my garden. Okay, we're back again. Today we're going to do some trimming of some bushes around the garden. One of the cool things about the hedge trimmer is you can adjust the angle, so you can do stuff either above or below you just by twisting these two little levers here. Okay, let's head out and get some trimming done. Okay, so we're outside. It's really smoky again today, so if the light's not very good, I apologise. So we're going to start here. Okay, as you can see, it works great. It's easy to control. So I kind of like the PROYAMA hedge trimmer.